excitedly that this youth was the son of the reserved family who won against the main family in the bloodline ceremony. Eugene was a little surprised to see Jin's familiar behavior. He removed Jin's large arms from his shoulders and asked if he had come to take Eugene away. Jin confirmed it. He had come alone to summon Eugene on Sir Gilead's orders. Jin wants to meet this amazing boy who is currently the subject of conversation. Jin had heard a lot about Eugene, but he couldn't see him at the bloodline ceremony because it was a tradition that only the head of the family was allowed to supervise. But Sir Loberian had come this time only to lend a helping hand. Jin made it clear that he had no ill will towards his brother just because of what he said. He just wanted to make clear the traditions within the Lionheart family to Eugene. Even so, Jin felt like his words were displeased with the family's rules. Eugene did not care about it at all. Eugene could feel a sense of freedom from the way the man spoke and the personality before him. Eugene believes he is as great of a person as he appears. Eugene suspects that it is because of Jin's free personality that he does not want to marry. Now the two of them were walking down the hall to Sir Gilead's room. At this time, Eugene asks Jin why the head of the family called him. Jin replied, the head of the family might have wanted to congratulate him on winning the bloodline continuation ceremony. Eugene replied that he had heard Sir Gilead's praise, so Eugene deduces Jin doesn't know the real reason either. Sir Jin said it wasn't that he didn't know the estimate, but there was no reason for him to care about it. All she wants is to see Eugene more often. Eugene is also happy to meet Sir Jin often. By now they had reached Sir Gilead's door, so Eugene started knocking on the big door, then said his name. It didn't take long for an answer to be heard from inside the room to allow Eugene to enter. Jin opened the door for Eugene while giving him an enthusiastic smile. At this point, Eugene thinks Jin's personality is good, but it weighs him down a bit. As soon as he entered the room of the main leader of the Lionheart family, he was greeted warmly by Sir Gilead. The two of them sat facing each other while enjoying tea and snacks. First, Sir Gilead gives Eugene the necklace and says it's been checked by Sir Liberian and there's no magic in it. Sir Gilead also said they had read the mana traces in it and there was nothing out of the ordinary. Eugene was shocked to hear that, because he remembered reading mana trails was a technique Sienna had shown him before. Then Eugene asked what traces were left on his necklace. Sir Gilead replied that the necklace was sold in the capital market about 100 years ago. Eugene was dumbfounded with a pale face hearing that. He couldn't believe his mana trail was like that, because the necklace belonged to Hamel, which she wore long ago, 300 years ago. She had worn the necklace for years, so there was no way Eugene could see it wrong. But there's no reason for the Loberians to lie. Eugene wonders if Loberian misread the trail. Then Eugene realized that it might be a new type of magic cast by someone with the Tower Master level to cover his tracks. Eugene wonders who it is. Is Vermouth alone? Seeing that there was no way for him to know the reason behind his erasing, Eugene changed his expression from curious to cheerful. He asked, "Can I wear the necklace now?" Sir Gilead allowed it as he promised at the beginning. Eugene gladly received the necklace again and thanked him. Later, Sir Gilead said he called Eugene not only to give back the necklace, he wanted to make a pretty lucrative offer for Eugene. This will concern Eugene's future. For a moment the boy tensed at Sir Gilead's words. So before the host made his offer, Eugene suddenly said that Seal was a sweet and kind girl. But Eugene doesn't want to think about marriage for now. This boy guessed that the reason Seal was still full of joy and friendly with him was because of this reason, a political marriage. Eugene's point of view of Sir Gilead also changed because he planned something like that behind Eugene's back. When Eugene continues to rant about marriage, Sir Gilead immediately stops him by saying that Eugene has misunderstood. Sir Gilead wasn't trying to set Seal up with him. Instantly Eugene's face was red with embarrassment. He was embarrassed because he had misunderstood too far. Eugene wants to bang his head against the wall for daring to think about marrying a 13-year-old. With a trembling voice, Eugene asked what reason Sir Gilead wanted to convey. Sir Gilead calmly tried to deliberately call Eugene to make an offer to adopt him as a child. Of course, Eugene was surprised to hear this, but he realized that this method was good enough to lure him into the main house. Eugene stammered and said this was a rather surprising offer to become Sir Gilead's adopted son. However, the elder replied that this offer was not suddenly asked to marry. Eugene smiled sheepishly again when this was brought up, so he apologized with his face still red. Sir Gilead explained, if Eugene wanted this, then he would call his father, Gerhardt, to join the main family. Hearing this, Eugene complains that later he will have two fathers. Sir Gilead smiled and told him not to think too hard, because this means that Eugene's family will become part of the main family. Sir Gilead is the father of 3 children, so he had no intention of kidnapping the child from Gerhardt. Sir Gilead had never met Eugene's father, but he promised that he would consider Sir Gerhardt as his brother. Eugene looks very serious thinking about this. Eugene asks Sir Gilead if he refuses to be his son, will the landlord not respect his father? Sir Gilead smiled at the boy's question. He certainly wouldn't do that. Sir Gilead said frankly that he might be a little saddened by Eugene's decision. But if Eugene refuses, he will just be sad and that's all. However, Sir Gilade will respect Eugene's decision and wish the best for this boy. Eugene says he can't decide this on his own, so he has to talk to his father first. So Sir Gilade invites Eugene to come back to the party. Later he will send people to Gidal and call his father. Eugene thanked him and then drank the tea in his glass first. At this point, Eugene remembers that Sir Gilade said this was for his future, so he asked what does that mean. Sir Gilade explains that Eugene will have many opportunities living in Lionheart's mansion. The first is because in that place many knights can teach Eugene. Hearing that, Eugene immediately said he wanted to learn from the best. So Eugene asked, if he became the son of Sir Gilade, could he learn to fight from him? The head of the family was speechless hearing that. Meanwhile Eugene, this brat was wondering in his head how strong was the leader of the Lionheart family. At last Sir Gilade smiled. He certainly allowed Eugene to learn from him. But if Eugene wanted to learn from the best, Sir Gilade suggested someone better suited for it. Sir Gilade suggests Jin tutor Eugene. Sir Gilade had once been stronger than his brother, but now Jin had surpassed him. So said Sir Gilade. Eugene also imagined Jin's face while thinking carefully about the offer. Then Sir Gilade asked whether Eugene had received how to develop mana from his father. Eugene replies that he has, but he still doesn't want to use it. But with hesitation, this boy said maybe he had accidentally used it. Sir Gilade smiled at that. He was sure Eugene had always been diligent even before coming to the mansion. The pool of mana found in powerful monsters is called Mana Stone. It was common to use Mana Stones when learning how to use mana. Because Mana Stones are very efficient, they are also very expensive. And again, a beginner must get supervision from experienced people so that the results are visible. Sir Gilade realized that would be hard to do in the Gerhardt family. According to him, there are environmental problems to be able to develop Eugene's potential. Inside his head, Sir Gilade knew he couldn't say these things to Eugene, as it would make the boy look down on his own family. This is a matter to be discussed separately with Master Gerhardt later. So Sir Gilade hung up on this matter, but he still wanted to have a little more chat with Eugene. Eugene gladly accepted the family leader's offer to chat together. The two of them were deeply involved in an exciting conversation about many things, until feeling the snacks on the table run out as well as the tea. After it was felt that enough time had passed, Eugene finally decided to resign. Sir Gilade wants someone to escort Eugene, but this boy prevented him, saying that the distance between the room and his room wasn't too far, so he wanted to go alone while having a look. Eugene finally actually walked alone down the hall to his room. Not how far from Sir Gilade's room, this boy stopped because he smelled a very strong perfume. He noticed that there was someone in one corner of the hall who wasn't moving, as if waiting for him to pass. So Eugene tried to act normal and kept walking calmly. A woman appeared in a luxurious dress. It was Sir Gilade's second wife, Anacilia. He seemed surprised to see Eugene's figure. As this boy knew, this woman was only pretending. Eugene will play along and pretend to be surprised too. Eugene also behaved formally while bowing and greeting. Seeing this, Anacilia immediately said she saw Eugene talking for a long time with Sir Gilade. With a cold face, Eugene asked if there was anything Anacilia wanted to talk to him about. Instantly, Anacilia's face turned irritated behind her hand femme. In her heart, this woman thought Eugene was very arrogant, only because Eugene the hillbilly just beat the main breed. Anacilia was annoyed thinking about this, but she admits that the boy in front of her will become a big person someday. So Anacilia decides to make Eugene an ally rather than an enemy. Making her marry Seal wasn't a bad thing either. That's why he told Seal to approach Eugene yesterday. With a friendly smile, Anacilia asked what Eugene was talking about with her husband. Then Eugene politely replied that he probably shouldn't say that to Anacilia. The grown-up woman was nervous and said she didn't mean to want to know. She tried to divert the conversation by saying something else. A few days ago, Cyan had a hard time and bothered Eugene. With rituals and whatnot, Anacilia once apologized because she had not had the chance to apologize on behalf of her son. Eugene politely said that Anacilia didn't need to do that because Cyan herself had already apologized. So Anacilia couldn't help but smile and praise the boy before her as a mature person for her size. Then Anacilia said she already scolded Cyan. He hoped that after this Eugene and Cyan could still be friends. Eugene smiled broadly in response to Anacilia's last words. This boy replied that of course they could get along because they are family and share the same name. Anacilia's eyes turned sharp. Inside her mind, she was annoyed to hear Eugene's words. But in reality, they are family. It's just that Eugene's words irritated Anacilia because they came out of the lips of the additional offspring. After feeling that there was nothing else to talk about, Eugene asked to leave. Now Anacilia no longer prevents him and apologizes for taking up Eugene's rest. As they walk away, Eugene realizes that this is the Anacilia figure who often humiliates them as a backup breed. Eugene doesn't want to get involved with him. A few days later, Great Lionheart arrived from the faraway province of Gidal. As soon as he got off the carriage, Eugene's father immediately put on a sad face. In his mind, he didn't expect his son to win the bloody continuation ritual. He even started to get teary-eyed at the thought of his big blind beating the main bloodline. He knew his son indeed had extraordinary fighting abilities from an early age. But with his condition, Gerhardt realized he couldn't give his son wings. Gerhardt thought his son would face a sad reality while participating in the bloody continuation ritual. He hoped Eugene would realize that the boundary between the reserve bloodline and the mainline bloodline couldn't be crossed with talent and hard work alone. Instantly, Gerhardt's thoughts were broken when he heard his son calling from the front of the palace. Gerhardt immediately ran and hugged his son's small body. She was crying with joy while hugging this very talented son of hers. With tears in his eyes, Gerhardt said that he was very proud of his son. He is truly proud that Eugene is his son. With a smile full of pride, Eugene said to remind his father before leaving Gittal that he would give his father the good news. But at that time his father did not even believe his words. Gerhardt wiped away the tears and now he believes in his son's words. He also apologized for previously not believing Eugene's words. After seeing Sir Gilad, Mr. Gerhardt wiped his tears and apologized for just realizing Sir Gilad's existence. Then Sir Gerhardt introduced himself politely to Sir Gilad. The host welcomed the arrival of Sir Gerhardt. Even Sir Gilad apologized for inviting Sir Gerhardt so suddenly. Sir Gerhardt was uncomfortable hearing that he was grateful for being invited to the Lionheart family's main mansion. Without further ado, Sir Gilad invited Sir Gerhardt to come in and have a discussion. With a bright and happy face, Sir Gerhardt accepted the invitation. He followed Sir Gilad's steps into the palace, while Eugene waits outside. In Sir Gilad's study, the main leader of the Lionheart family immediately brought up the topic of adopting Eugene. Of course, Sir Gerhardt was surprised to hear this. Sir Gilad also confirmed this and said that Sir Gerhardt could join the main family. Sir Gilad apologized for the sudden offer. Sir Gerhardt stood up and said he would comment even if it sounded rude. This grown man said he was very happy that Sir Gilad looked at his son with such affection. But Sir Gerhardt must take a different position for the sake of Eugene's future. Sir Gilad realized that the head of the family was very generous to Eugene. But as a father, Sir Gerhardt was worried about the treatment Eugene would receive from other members of the main family. Sir Gilad already had 3 children. If Eugene were to step in and be adopted, he would immediately become the center of attention. Sir Gilad understood very well what Sir Gerhardt wanted to convey, so he wasn't offended at all. Then Sir Gerhardt continued, he didn't want to limit his son's potential, but the main family attached importance to the legitimacy of his bloodline. They would never accept a descendant of a backup family leading the family. Sir Gilad replied to this, that even if Eugene were adopted, he might not be able to become head of the family. But if the boy wasn't greedy, he could increase his abilities under the main family name. Sir Gilad explains that he wants Eugene to be a brother to his children and form a bond with his children. Sir Gilad believes the bond can help Eugene hone his talents for the future. Sir Gerhardt confirmed Sir Gilad's words, so he will talk about this again with Eugene. Outside the palace, Eugene is practicing his new sword very seriously. This time Eugene swung his sword vigorously, but not how long did he see his father coming from a distance. Seeing his father's sad expression, Eugene knew the topic of adoption must have taken his father by surprise. Once close, Eugene asked why his father's expression was so gloomy. Instead of directly answering his son's question, Sir Gilad was fixated on the sword at Eugene's waist. He knew it was the Storm Blade Winif, the sword that Eugene hand-picked from the secret treasure vault belonging to the Lionheart family. Sir Gerhardt realized that even if he sold all of his family's assets, he still would not be able to buy the sword that was so valuable. After a while, Sir Gerhardt said that the family leader wanted to adopt Eugene into the main family. Eugene replies that he already knows about it because Sir Gilad told him earlier. With a sad face, Sir Gerhardt said that he hoped Eugene would enter the main family as an adopted child.